Hello, everyone. We are back with the Bootcamp live sessions, and we were in our previous class. We have started with Shopify, so we'll be continuing the Shopify development. Sarja, do you want to add anything?
No, I just wanted to add that in the next 2-3 classes we are going to finish off e-commerce, and then we going to start serverless development, full stack serverless. But at this stage, first let's complete this e-commerce thing. Shopify is a big hit, and it is coming up very fast. Actually, it has already more than 1 million customers, but it is increasing even more day by day. So Zeeshan, let's start.
Sure. Okay, so let me share my screen first. Okay, so in our previous class, we were discussing the article, and we have discussed how we set up how we can set up a Shopify account and then create a private app and then start using this functionality to access the Shopify products from the Shopify app as a headless CMS, and then start displaying it. So we have developed initial code which we did in our last class. So let me show you this, and let us rephrase everything, and then we will reiterate everything, and then we'll move forward. So first of all, what I did in our last class was just a moment. Yes. So I had created store, added all my information. Then I created the products. So these are the products which we saw. You can see in our last class in live sessions, and we have created the product, and then we also added the variants. In this product, we do not have variant, but in other product, let's say in water bottle, title, description, we have uploaded the images, and then we created the variant. So you can create variant by adding variant over here. So you can add more variants. At this moment we do not need. So we have added our product into Shopify store. So the most important thing, we have already discussed this, that you create a shop, you add a product in a normal way, the one we were the anyone will be using the Shopify store. So it's the same. The difference is Shopify has provided you the API, Storefront API, in SDK format and the GraphQL format. So you can, by using those APIs, what you can do is, instead of using the web store client which Shopify have provided, you can use directly your own application and display product inside that. So these are the basic products we have created, and we have not seen much detail over here. Then we move to the our application, the code, and the other important part is we explore this SDK, so that how we can use the client side library and how we can access the products and add the product inside it. So for that, what we did is, as a very first step, we created a Gatsby application, basically the Gatsby application, and to access the product from the Shopify, we use this Gatsby source Shopify plugin, and this plugin is work as an npm module, and then we have provided our shop name inside into it, and then the access token. This access token is available here inside our shop.
Zeeshan, can you increase the focus a little bit?
Sure. Okay, so in setting, no, sorry, in apps, we have created the private managed private app, and here we just use this. You can create your app over here, another app, by clicking the create new app, but we already have created in our last class, so we'll stick to that. And that's our private app, and That's the ID you need, access token. You need to access content from your what you say Shopify store. So we have provided this over here. So it works like this, and then we started building our page. We have did very basic implementation just to display the products. So as we know that Shopify provided the GraphQL interface, GraphQL queries. So what we did in our last class is we access all the Shopify product name, ages, node, and inside that we have all the information related to our product, and then we try to display them by iterating data.allShopifyProduct.ages. So let me run this code example so that we can see where we were. Netlify dev, and it's started, and so it's as you can see, it's trying to load all the products and everything from the Shopify because of this plugin. Okay, so it's okay. So as you can see, we have a product, formal shoes, description, its price, add to cart button, water bottle, its price, and add to cart button, description. So we have displayed all the products we receive in our query. You can also see that's also we have covered in our last class, that you have all these information over Shopify product collection, so you can access your Shopify product information over here, and you can see whatever information you need to access. So you can access them and then you can display. So that's the query which I have created in our last class. Provided that query over here, and then this data, because of this query, the Fay Gatsby work, it gives us all the data in this data variable, and then we start displaying this the data over here. That's what we can see here, the product description and everything. Okay, after that we were about to work on how, if I want to click on this product and I want to add this product into my cart. So until this point, at this moment, it's only display the test, because we were about to create and we our class time was ended. So today we are moving forward from this point. Okay, so for that, Gatsby provides two way to access API its data. One is GraphQL API, which we'll cover next, and another one is this by SDK. So for this, what you need to do is npm install Shopify by, which we did in our last class, and then you need to call import the client, and then say client.build client, provide your name of your shop. If your shop, if you do not have a your own domain and you are still using the domain ended with shopify.com, then you'll provide complete URL and then access token. So this will create your client. As you can see, we have already done this over here, and this gives us the variable of a client, and then we can, using this variable, what we can do is we need to create a checkout. So as we have seen with the Stripe, Snipcart and everything, if you want to add item into the cart, you need to create a cart and then add those items into the cart. So for that, what we need to do is we need to call client.checkout.create. Let me show you in SDK documentation. Client.checkout.create, and it's a, you can use it as a promise or as an async commit. So I'm using it as an async commit. So it returns you the reference of a checkout object. That checkout object has all the information related to the checkout option. Basically, it's your cart. So it will have all the line items, your price, everything, shipping detail, everything will be in this checkout. And then what we need to do is, after once we create this, we need to add line item into checkout. Client.checkout.add line items. We need to provide checkout ID, the checkout we have created, and then line item. I'll show you this. Okay, so as we need to keep this client property or our checkout session into uh, as a reference. So for what I'm doing is using the use effect. As page will load, it will load the checkout object, and then it will at this moment it will show just console, and what we'll do is set checkout session, and this session object will be added over here. So you need to understand that when we call client.checkout.create, it returns us a checkout session. You can call it checkout session or you can call it cart. It has all the line items. So I am storing it into the state so that I can access in later on whenever I call the add button. So it will be stored over here, and you can see, let me refresh it. So you can see this is the checkout session which I have displayed over here, console session. It has ID, line item. At this moment, it has nothing. And the text, if it's exempted, total tax, price, at this moment, it has nothing. So once I click the add to cart, then I need to add line item into this checkout element, checkout session. So for that, what we need to do is we need to call checkout.client.add line item. We need to provide checkout ID and then line item. And what line item requires is also an important. It requires an array. So the second argument should be an array, and that array should contain an object. And the important property is variant ID and the quantity, how many items you want to add for a particular product. So for that, first you need to understand once again is, if we try to see our product, let me show you in the GraphQL interface. For example, we have this water bottle. It has a variant. So we have created 3 variants. So to add a particular product into a cart, you need to add a particular variant so that Shopify understand which variant client is trying to buy. So as you can see, this variant has what happened? This variant has a price, SQ, title, ID. Another variant price, SQ, title. So you need to pick particular variant. At this moment, we are not specifically displaying a product and picking a variant. So at this moment, I'll be picking the single variant. But you need to see one more thing. How many formal shoes? In case of formal shoe, we haven't added any variant. Even then, if it's in a single item, then even then you will receive a variant, and it has a price, everything, and it will have a variant ID. So you need to understand that if you do not have if you have not added variant, even then it has a one variant. So for that, we need to, as we have displayed over here, node.id, node.title, node.description, node.image, original SRC. And what we did is node.variant, 0.price. So we have displayed the price of variant which is at 0 index. So that's why it's showing us this price. So we have picked from the variants. Now in add to cart button, what I need to do is I need to call client.checkout.add add line items. On that, first element is required checkout ID. So for that, we have this session inside here. So checkout session. So what we'll do is we will call checkout session.id, comma. Now we need an array. And in this array, we need to provide an object. And for that object, we must have a variant ID. Now we have this. At this moment, we are assuming we are not going to display multiple variant and everything. So we are picking the variant of a variant ID of a at 0 index. And quantity, let's say quantity is 2. So that's it. We need to call it, but it's an async event. So what I'll do is const session. So what happened is if you add or update anything inside the session in checkout session, it returns a new object. So you always need to keep that object and always need to update your state, because it does not update existing element. It returns you a new object and you need to keep updating your state every time. So I'll call again set checkout session and provide session inside. And I'll console the session as well so that I can show you in console what's available inside that session. There is some error. Await. Okay, await should be in async function. Session is not defined. Okay, so now as soon as page will be loaded, use effect will work and it will create this checkout session, and we have this session inside our uh, state, user state. And then once we call the add checkout button, it will call add line item, pick the session ID, and then add the variant into the session. So if you see session at this moment, it has nothing. So what I'll do is I'll add the, I have pressed the add to cart, and it gives us error. This is line item of input check was provided invalid. Okay. Okay, so the problem is in our product node type, we have variants, and variant has an ID, which is Shopify double underscore product variant double underscore and after that ID. So what Shopify need is, what checkout need is ID from here. It does not require this, so we need to remove this part of from the ID. I was unable to find direct that Shopify should provide us something directly, but I was unable to find it. So what I'll do is I'll just split this ID underscore, and if we split with underscore, it will give us Shopify first index, second index product variant, and third index ID. So it will be on index 2. So I'll call 0. So that's how we'll able to access the product ID directly. So let's refresh it again. Press add to cart. Still. Line item 1.
Maybe Zeeshan, you had to, instead of 0, you had to write 2.
Oh, yes. Yes, it should be 2. Add to cart. Okay. So as I press add to cart, it returned this test, and this is because I have provided this session here. So now we can see if our checkout session has updated or not. Line items, yes, we have one line item. So it's 0, and it has quantity, it has title. So as you can see, we have data inside our checkout, and we can see total price, it's 400 because I have added the quantity of 2. Mm, yes, quantity 2. So I added the uh, formal shoe inside it, and then add to cart this water bottle. Again, it's updated, and we have now 2 line items. And if we see total price, that's what we have. So this session, as we have seen, because with the snip cart, everything was managed by the snip cart. uh, with used shopping cart library, which we have done before Shopify, we had this object and we were managing everything. We were building the UI by ourselves, and everything was available in cart object. That's the exactly same thing we have in case of our uh, Shopify's checkout session. Now, what we need to do is we need to, once we add any product into the cart, what we need to do is we can, if we want to increase or decrease the quantity, we need to move to the cart page, or we need to display at the top. At the top, maybe we need to display the total price. So what we can do is, um, after the hello world, what I'm trying to do is I dev total price. So we have checkout session over here, and what we can do is checkout session dot, so that's the object we have, and it has a property name total price. Session is not defined. Okay, so we need to first check if session object exists, as it's been done with the what you say, once use effect runs, then we will have access to the session object. So we'll use this. Okay, so you can see total price. If I add again, price being updated, let me um, so we can see it separately. So that's the total price. Now we can also now we have everything. We can, what we can do is, as we did with the snip cart and we did with the use shopping cart, quantity total item. Checkout session dot, so we have 2 items in our, add another one, and price is increasing total items. So that's how we have access all the information from the checkout session. And now what we need to do is we need to move our page to the cart page, where we can add and decrease products, and then we will go to the checkout. So on this page, what we'll do is we'll navigate to the cart page. not have cart page at this moment, so I'm going to add a page cart.js. And okay. Now what we need to understand is we are on a different page. So if we want to share data across the pages, we have learned for that Redux, we have learned context API, everything. So if I'll try to add all these things, that will increase focus towards the uh, context API and everything. So what I'll do is I'll just add this session ID inside local storage, and then in cart page I'll load session ID from the local storage, and then I will load session from the uh, yes. So you can load checkout if, let's say, user added item into the cart and then logs out, and then comes a late user comes later, and you need to display all this information from the your cart. So for that, what you can do is you have a client.checkout.fetch, and you can provide the checkout ID so that it will load all the items. In our case, we are using it for different purpose, but the objective is same. You need to load checkout on a different page or after a log out, login, anytime. So what I'll do is we do not have a data this. So before going to this, what I need to do is once we create this session, once this session is updated, we need to keep this session ID into local storage. So what I'll do is local storage dot set item checkout ID and session dot ID. That's it. It will be part of the local storage, and when we move to the cart page, what we'll do is we'll try to set up more accurately name it checkout session. And in use effect, so as soon as page loads, it loads session from the checkout library by library and add it into the state variable. So what we'll do is session equals to await client. So that's why I also copied it over here. In normal case, you will not copy in multiple pages. As we have seen, we can use journal page, which because of which a common property or object available in all the pages. Client.checkout.fetch, and what we'll do is local storage dot get item, and we'll name it checkout ID. Okay, so once it's done, we can do is set checkout session, add session into this. And as again, it's an await. So what we need to do is we need to call async function. and add this into missing. So once it's done, we can display it as well so that we can see that we have this session available. Okay. So we have nothing in the card. Let me add something into the card and then click on the card. So we move to the card page, loaded session, and we have access to the session. It has an item. So now we can create the card page and it will use the same logic. We just need. Okay, so for now, what we need to do is we need to call checkout session dot line items dot map, and this map will have a line item and we can display we already seen we need to provide some unique key over here. So each line item have its ID, so it's easy for us to provide that ID over here, and then will display. Let me pick this data from here so that it will be easy. We just need to change the properties. So I'll display the name, description, image, and price. These things will be same. Just what I need to do is I need to update how to access them. Otherwise, they will remains the same. Okay, so we need to access the title, and in our case, if we are accessing from the line item, so title is inside line item. So item dot title description. I guess we do not have a description, so let's for a while skip it. Image. So for image, we have variant. Inside the variant, we have title, we have images, and images has source. Okay, so with variant image, and we have a source. So that's how we can display this. So item dot variant, it's just a variant, not variant dot image dot src. Price, we need price which is available directly. So the item dot price. Okay, so we are here, add to the item to the cart. So add it, let's move to the cart page, session loaded, and we have a line item, but it does not display anything. Check out session dot line items. use effect as a missing dependency. Index read hook. Eventually must have okay, so I guess it's warning, so we can skip this, but session loaded, but we do not have why it's not okay, so that means because of some error it's not building the page, and that error is this one. Expected to return value arrow function callback array line number 25. Okay, oh, we need to provide the round bracket instead of curly bracket. That was the main issue. Okay, so we have line items. Line item does not have anything at this moment. Let's go back, add anything, go back to the cart. Okay, so we have formal shoe and everything here. The price, it's not being displayed, so maybe I'm missing something on the price. Let's check that out. So price is also inside variant. Okay. Okay, now we have cart, and just to stay separate. Okay, so let's go back to and add this one, this one, item in cart, and that's how our cart shows. The, the reason we have did this is what we need to do is we need to call add and increase or decrease quantity into our cart, and then we call checkout from this cart page. So I'll add buttons over here, 3 buttons. Just make it plus and minus, and I'll add the and then outside this div I need to add checkout button. Okay, so let's see. So we have this checkout button and we have this plus and minus button, so that now what we need to do is once I click the plus, it shows the it increase the quantity. So I also need to display the quantity so that it's easy for user to understand. But what we need to do is on click round bracket and this. Okay, and then what we need to do is once we call this, now we need to call add increase quantity or decrease quantity. For that, let's go back to the library, and this library shows how we can update the line item. That was for add line item. Now, if we want to update the line item, what we need to do is we need to again pass an array. So maybe we need to update multiple line item. We call client.checkout.update line item, provide the checkout ID again, so the checkout ID session which we have created, and we need to provide the line item array. It requires the ID of a line item and whatever quantity you need to set. So what I'll do is I'll call this line item here, and for that I have to make it async. And inside that, okay, so const session add equals to await, and here we need to pass checkout ID. So we have this session over here, checkout session dot ID, and then we need to pass array, and that array should have an object ID of a checkout a line item and the quantity. So we have this item, we have this variant, so we need to provide item.id, id colon item.id, and
Zeeshan, could you
quantity.
please check in front of ID, is it a dot or a comma?
This one?
No, on top.
Here?
No. In that session, checkout session dot ID.
Checkout session.
Just after on click.
That's the checkout session.id. This is one you are talking about?
Yes.
It's .id.
It's a dot or a comma after ID.
After ID, it's a comma, because these are two parameters. First one is ID, and second one, we need to provide an array of line items. So that's the checkout ID, and then we need to provide array.
Yes, I agree. Just you need to, if it's a comma, then put a space. I think the space was not there.
Okay, so that's all. Okay, and then we need to pass the object. So quantity. Okay, so for quantity, we need to see where the quantity is available so that we can access that quantity and increase that quantity. So let me just skip this once again and go back to the home page, add something into the cart, go to the cart. Okay, so we have this variant, and inside that variant we have quantity available over here directly. Let me check if it's available in variant as well, so we do not have to worry about. We have a quantity directly inside the line item. So what I'll do is quantity item dot quantity plus 1. As we want to increase it, it returns the session again, because session gets updated again and again. So we need to set checkout session name. Same logic we need to do for the decrement. There is no difference. Just we need to deduct the quantity, and let's name it session minus, and let me display the quantity as well, so that we can see that quantity is being increased and decreased. Quantity and item dot quantity. Okay, now what's the error? Await is inside placing function. Yes. Okay, so now we need to do is okay, add the formal water bottle, and then go to the cart page. So we have these two items. We can see quantity, and it's updating. Okay, so what we need to see is if our session is updated or not. But for that, I need to display the session in console, so we are sure. But we got the idea that it will be updated. And as it's rebuilt, so we need to add items cart into again. That's why the session gets lost everything. Okay, so once I added the quantity, it becomes 3 session after, and you can see 2 line items, and the first line item, which is water bottle, and we can see quantity 3. So it's updating our session. So what we have done this over here is, the important part is we need to access this session. So for that, we store the ID, and then we fetch the session from the Shopify using the buy SDK. And if you want to update quantity, or if you want to add anything, any information from your product or line item, so you need to call update line item. You also have a remove line item, but now I'm moving to the checkout process, so I'm skipping this. Otherwise, it's very simple. Client.checkout.remove line item, provide the checkout ID and the line item ID, exactly similar to this. So it will remove the element from the your checkout session, and it will not be part of the checkout. Okay, so once we are done with this, what we need to do is we need to call the checkout. And for checkout, you need to see one more thing. In your checkout session, which I haven't displayed you, we have a web URL. That's the specific URL of this particular session, which has all the line items. So when you want to move to the checkout page, you will use this URL. It has check session information and everything inside it. And Shopify used this to identify which checkout session we are talking about and which checkout session we want to actually get paid for. So let me add on click, and inside that, what we need to do is we need to call window.open. So we need to open another window, and inside that window we need to provide this session, which we have all the items inside it, session dot web URL, like it is we have here. Okay. add this card, this, go to the cart, add one more quantity, and then click the checkout. It opens a completely new page and completed a separate page from the Shopify. So you do not have to, like we have seen in Stripe. Stripe provides its own page. So Shopify also provides its own page for the checkout details. But if you do not have, if you have not provided your card, if you have not updated your payment plan, so you will not be able to see this page, and you will see this image. Something is wrong, checkout system is disabled, you must choose plan or enter your credit card. So once you add your credit card, then you will be able to see this page, otherwise you will not be able to see this page. So for the checkout, you test checkout, you need to add this your credit card information to upgrade to the payment plan. So let me updated everything and then continue to shipping. Now so you can also specify all these things inside, let's say, your setting. It's inside that it has a shipping and delivery, so you can add everything related to the shipping. If you want to charge anything, you want to, if you want to add shipping and all this information, what will be the charges of a region shipping or area shipping, you can configure everything over there. And once user visit this page, it will display this shipping. At this moment it says free, so you can see 400 300 subtotal, everything is available. Continue to payment. Now on this payment page, it should be a credit card in boxes, but it's not, because there is no information set in my shop to access the payment information. So for that we need to add payment method. I'll show you, but that's the final page, and here we'll see the credit card information. Now what we need to do is we need to say to Shopify that which payment method we need to use, so that our credit card information should be available over here, credit card boxes. So for that, let's go to the setting page. Here we have a payment option. In payment option, we have a PayPal checkout, third party provider, and we are missing one option which is called Shopify payment option. Uh, it's not available in our region, so it's not available in Pakistan. That's why we are not able to see. I have kept open the page. If I can show you,
I think two checkout should be available.
yeah, two checkout is available, but Shopify itself provide a payment method.
Yeah.
So I'll show you the two checkout and everything, but you can use the payment checkout style customer account. I'll send a link, so that shows how you can configure the Shopify checkout page option. So you just have to click on it, and it will ask the all the detail for your bank account and everything. In our case, at this moment, because default Shopify checkout is not available, we need to move to the third-party provider. Choose third-party provider, and here there are multiple providers. To checkout is also available here. Stripe is also available here. So there are multiple options you can use to configure into your Shopify account, and then you are good. At this moment, if you want to just test, so Shopify also provide a bogus gateway. So if I'll click for this moment so that we can test it, because otherwise it will start charging. If I'll configure the two checkout, or if I'll configure the Stripe, it will actually charge the credit card. Uh, Initially we need to test that if user provides some check credit card information, so how order will be created, what will happen if we need to test everything. So we need a bogus gateway. So Shopify has provided us the bogus gateway so that we can test our complete cycle of a ordering of a product. So bogus gateway, We do not have to do anything. We just need to activate. So the bogus gateway is activating. Once the bogus gateway is activated, now I can see. I'll have to close this and I need to do it again. Go to the cart, check out, continue shipping, continue to payment. Now you can see the credit card information. So now you can provide credit card details over here. One is for success and two is for authenticated and three is for failure. That's the how they use it. Same as shipping, you do not have to do anything. And as you can see, we are total payment is 696. Pay now. It's processing the card. That's a complete page built by the Shopify and you do not have to worry about anything. So it's secure by the Shopify. All the process is done by the Shopify. You do not have to do anything and it display everything. And when we go to our store, we have order. So the order number is 102. If I'll press on it, it will display all the information. Formal shoe, 2 quantities, water bottle, 2 quantities, paid, and all the details. So now what you can do is you can market fulfill. Don't do it in testing mode. It will actually charge your account. So do not market fulfill in your testing. And then it provides complete information how things happen. You can update the status and everything, and it will complete the process. So that's how it's a complete cycle, but from the SDK. So we have accessed the Shopify, created the shop over here. Order management will be there. In case of if you are using the Shopify, you do not need to worry about the snip card because the snip card is an order management system. We have everything over here in Shopify directly. So you do not have to integrate snip card over here. Just use the Shopify. So all the product are here. Your customer details will be here. The customer who purchased anything, the marketing, discounts, your products, your orders, everything is available here. And you can just create your website by your UI, the way you want to build it, and just access the Shopify information using the Shopify Store API, which we have discussed in our class, and you are good to go. So I guess this is done with the SDK, and
we are going to start with the GraphQL API, but I think we don't have time today.
Yes, so we can do it in our next class.
So therefore, we will cover this in the next class, and I think you look tired anyway. Actually, you are not tired. Coding in front of a live camera, which is going to be live in perpetuity, is a tough thing to do.
Yes.
I know for sure I can't do it. I can take my own time and do it. Okay, Zeeshan, thank you so very much. We are coming to the end of e-commerce section, and then we are going to move to the serverless section, where we are going to cover AWS serverless and cloud development kit, CDK, and other things. But thank you so very much. We have a few classes left in our e-commerce section, and then we'll be moved to the serverless one. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye. See you guys around.
Bye.